Hey everyone, Mr. DVB here. So today I'm going to be reviewing Ralph Breaks the Internet, which is the sequel to the 2012 film Wreck-It Ralph. Now before I talk about the new film, I want to give you guys my quick thoughts on the original Wreck-It Ralph. I actually rewatched the movie for the first time in like 5 or 6 years last night. I really wanted to rewatch it so I could catch up on the movie and, just feel refreshed and that kind of stuff so I can compare the two movies to each other. And rewatching the first one, I found it to be fun and enjoyable. I don't think it's as great as everybody else says, but I still think it's an enjoyable movie. So I'd rate the first one like a 7.5 out of 10. But going into the second one, I was still looking forward to it nonetheless. I thought it looked like it was going to be a completely different story, which was nice. It wasn't kind of rehashing the same thing. So that was something that I was, looking forward to seeing. I like the idea that they're going into the internet. That just seemed like something that has been done before, sure, with movies like the Emoji Movie, but this was definitely going to be a better film than the Emoji Movie. That's pretty much impossible to be worse than the Emoji Movie. And yeah, this movie was way better than the Emoji Movie. But that being said, I still didn't think it was great. There were a lot of problems in this movie, especially with the second half of the film, but the first half, to me, was actually great, and I actually enjoyed the first half of this movie more than I enjoyed the first film itself, so I would kind of say that I like this movie more than the first one, but I think the first one's a better movie. It's kind of hard to explain my thoughts on that, but that's really how I stand on this, these two films. So the story in this film is pretty basic. Vanellope's game, Sugar Rush, is broken. The controller or the steering wheel for it breaks, so they decide that they're going to go into the internet and find a new steering wheel on eBay so they can buy it, and then her game won't be thrown out or anything. None of her characters from that game will be homeless or anything like that. So that's kind of the plot of this movie, and I liked it. I thought it was really cool. I actually, like I said, I just loved the first half of this movie. I thought it was really fun and enjoyable. There was lots of funny internet jokes in there. There were some things that were really not funny in this movie, and nobody in the theater would laugh. It was just kind of awkward, honestly, but I still enjoyed the first half of this movie a lot. I would say it was like a solid 8 out of 10. But then the second half happened. Most of this review is probably going to be me talking about the second half because I just really didn't like the second half. The first half was so great, and then the second half just completely derails the movie for me. So one thing that I feel like people are going to be complaining is that this movie really doesn't have all that much to do with video games. I can understand that, but I'm glad they at least did something a little bit different, although sure, it is a little bit weird how this film kind of ditches a major part of the first one, or kind of the whole basis of the first movie, but I still liked, the stuff that was in this movie. I did enjoy seeing the internet and that kind of stuff. I thought it was pretty funny, and it was just cool seeing that from Disney. There were a lot of moments in this movie, like where you'll have a bunch of Disney characters. Those moments were really cool. It was just Disney showing us, hey, we all know these things that you love. We're on top when it comes to companies, which is true. They are on top. So yeah, moments like that were really fun. So the first act just had a lot of those little fun moments in it, and I thought it was pretty enjoyable. And then the second act just has a bunch of random subplots that are thrown in that I really just didn't understand why they were there. For example, there's this one part of the movie that is all about like a virus that is being installed into a game, and then there's like an army of people, or just one specific character, I'm not going to say who, but there's an army of characters that are turned into a giant monster, and that just felt so out of place. There was kind of a message behind it at the end of the day, but there's so many other ways they could have conveyed that message without wasting 20 minutes of the movie for one little tiny subplot that really just felt meaningless otherwise. So that was my biggest issue with the movie, was just how it went really off trail and all that kind of stuff. As far as the characters go here, I still like John C. Reilly in the movie as Ralph. I thought he was great. I don't like Sarah Silverman. I'll be up in front about it. I think she is really freaking annoying, but I do like Vanellope as a character, and that's pretty much where the characters end for me as far as likable goes. All the other characters here weren't that good. I thought the first film had some pretty enjoyable side characters, like Fix-It Felix and that kind of stuff. Here, all the side characters were just not that enjoyable. I really didn't like Gal Gadot in this movie. Her voice work was not that great, to be honest. It just seemed like really weird acting sometimes. And her character in general just felt kind of weird. I really didn't like Yes, that character. I thought she was annoying. So there's just a lot of characters in this movie I didn't like, and I really just didn't care for the second half of this movie overall. I don't want to sound like this movie sucks, because it didn't. It was still enjoyable, and I can see why people are going to like this movie, but for me personally, I just thought the second act was really dull and just went so off track that it kind of brought down the movie as a whole, obviously, because that's 50% of the movie that I didn't enjoy. But that being said, I still enjoyed the first half a lot. I still thought the first half was like a solid 8 out of 10. So if you're expecting me to give this movie a 5, I'm not going to give it that rating. I still think this was enjoyable, so I'm going to go ahead and give this film a 7 out of 10. I still think it's likable. I still think you guys should go see this movie if you enjoyed the first one. Don't expect a video game heavy movie, because that's certainly not what this is. But, it was likable. It was just I really didn't care for the second half of the film. So there you go, guys. That is my review on Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet. I'll see you guys all next time where I'll be reviewing whatever movie I see next. Creed 2. Yeah, Creed 2, that's the one. Bye.